What are your final thoughts on this case?
Well, I think that Connor was afraid, that he was really living the experience, that he believed that he was going, that he was, his superiors were getting rid of him, and he was frightened at that because he was in full health and he had money in the bank and everything to look forward to, and now it's all going down the tubes and he's disappearing. And if he's going to die in 2 weeks, he didn't want to know it because he didn't want to worry about it that long. He wouldn't let me take him to a doctor. And I'm sure that being a member of Delta 6 that he knew that they could reverse it if they wanted to.
And after this case had occurred and you're doing back investigation, you're checking with a friend from the FBI. Can you tell me a little bit about that person? And okay, can you tell me a little bit about what that person turned up?
That person found that the CIA W-4 was valid, was still valid at the time she checked it. He was drawing that amount of money, $72,000. He was still active, and he had been reprogrammed, gone back to San Diego and been deprogrammed and reprogrammed. That's all she would tell me.
What convinces you the most that he was not a CIA guy trying to disinform you and
Well, he could have been. That's why we waited 10 years.
Right. But my question right now is, what convinces you the most that this case is still legitimate as opposed to being a CIA disinformation setup?
Well, the thing that I thought was most convincing was when Steve Wilson described the hangars bays at level 2, the same number of ships in with the same design in them. And he didn't know anything about Connor Orion, or didn't know anything about Connor Orion being in touch with us, and we never knew anything about Steve Wilson until the Italians got those paintings.
Wendelle, thanks for spending the time on this case. I know it's a very difficult case. I know you, from what you've said today, you have your regrets about ever putting this case out, but I want to thank you for all of us that really want to know what our government's really all about. I want to thank you for your courage in putting this out and for your steadfastness in continuing to bring to the forefront all the most important UFO cases that are directed and you're exposed to. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
You got some idea, I think, of how thorough the lid on this thing has been, and the extreme that the government will go to. I mean, even by terminating people. As I may have mentioned to you earlier, they not only terminate people, they destroy families, destroy careers, all in the interest of keeping the lid on this, the greatest secret in human history. That is in itself essentially why I violated my security oath in '91 and decided to come out and speak publicly about what I had seen and what I had learned.
And to you, we all owe a great debt for doing that.
No, what you really owe a debt is to Wendelle. He was one of the pioneers. He had the courage to come out and really walk the walk, as the saying goes, you know. When many of us talk the talk, but this man walked the walk, and I admire him for it.
I was still being cautious about what I was doing, and then when Bob decided to risk it, I risked a few things, got a few death threats. Did you ever get death threats over the telephone?
Oh, hell yes. I was intimidated. I was followed in, black cars with no markings, sometimes with 2 and 3 guys in them.
Yeah.
It doesn't take too many guesses to figure out what's going on. But I may have told you earlier in another interview that I've been a maverick all my life, and I've been packing guns all my life. I'm an infantry vet. I'm a grunt. Nobody pushes me or intimidates me because I've said over the phone, I may have said it over the phone with you because we knew our lines were bugged.
Yeah, both.
I says, I'm packing, at the time I was packing a .38. I says, somebody pushes me too hard, I'm going to pull that out and start shooting. Being a vet suffering from post-traumatic syndrome, I can't be held responsible. I might shoot up a bunch of guys, and if they're CIA guys, that's too bad, yeah.
Now, we know we're all really spiritual beings. Are you guys planning a visit in the next life together? say
Well,
hello?
I'm sure our paths
Well,
will
I think we
cross.
passed before, and
That happens all the time.
Yeah, we're looking at a picture of two great eternal friends together, and I wish you much longevity and continued happy friendship for the remaining years of both your
Well,
lives.
considering that you're 85,
yeah.
I'm turning
You're
79
getting
tomorrow. I'm following pretty closely. And I imagine our paths will cross on the other side as well.
Gentlemen, thank you
they have
so
it.
much for your time today. Really appreciate it.
Okay, thank you, Rick.
Thanks,
I
you
got
guys.
people in there waiting I got to go have dinner with.